The Cooler Guild is brought to you by The Doctor's Office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our first sponsor.
The doctor's office is the best place to grab a drink before or after a rain match. I really love their wide assortment of whiskeys, but especially the Welsh Whiskey Stein by the tiny dragon herself, Jess Fishlock.
Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person.
Cheers.
Cheers. Clink. Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of The Cooler Guild. I am Coop, and joined with me, as always, is Van.
What's up?
In today's episode, we'll be doing our first ever interview with special guest Mariah Lee. But first, we want to remind people, The Cooler Guild is part of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on our public feed, or if you're Sounder at Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at sounderatheart.com/The Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything that we're doing.
Should we we had our second paid subscriber?
We did have our second paid subscriber. Shout out to
one of our very first mega listeners, a very good friend of mine, big part of FC Olympia, Ryan Perkins.
Woo-hoo.
So cheers, Ryan.
Cheers, Ryan.
I don't know if I've shouted you out yet on the podcast.
I don't think we have, so
he's a big part of my soccer life, excellent guy. Really supportive of women's soccer in general, and is growing the game here in Olympia. So cheers, Ryan. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And now on to our guest introduction.
Today's guest is a Covington, Washington native, a Stanford and Wake Forest alumni whose professional soccer career has spanned over 6 countries in its many years. She's also made an impact off the field with her blog, Soccer She Wrote, which recounts her experiences playing at home and abroad as a Black woman, giving an inside perspective of an athlete navigating her way through the current landscape of women's professional soccer and the world at large. Currently playing for DC Power, please enjoy our conversation with Mariah Lee. Hi, Mariah.
Hey.
So how we know each other because you played for FC Olympia, formerly Holytown FC last year.
Yes.
Which I am still currently the general manager of. And that was fun.
As in this past year or last year?
Last year. Well, you played one game this last year. And then I had to sign your rights away.
I know.
Release you, really. So yeah, you've been over at DC for a couple weeks now, playing for DC Power. How's that been so far? Like, what's your overall thoughts on the Super League so far?
It's a really cool project. It's still a work in progress. We have a lot of moving parts, just figuring out our personnel, organizational things. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I don't envy, getting all of the, things together, but like Amanda was here, the head of the USL Super League the other
Amanda
week.
Vandevort.
Yes, and she's making her rounds, and so I got to sit down with her for a few hours. Like, we went to the US game versus Costa Rica, and she has a really big vision for the league. She's been involved with soccer. She's been involved with creating leagues. So it's a very thought out process. I know a lot of people in the NWSL are like, we don't know if it's going to be stable. We don't know if it's going to last. Like, it's going to be stable. It's going to last, especially with the men's side already existing, functioning, making money. They have a plan to just keep expanding and growing the game here. And the goal's not to take the NWSL down. It's to just give girls in America more opportunity in the game here, because we have the talent to do so. And compared to Europe, where every country has a league, maybe a league underneath with a fraction of the population, we've just had one league for the past 12 years of the NWSL coming up. But yeah, I'm super excited. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I saw you guys got to be in a suite at Audi.
Yeah, they're really trying to give us the professional experience. And this is my first kind of club where they're going all out. Even though we have a men's side, like most of the time when I'm abroad and I'm with the club that already has a men's side that's established, we're just like an afterthought, and we don't get a lot of the luxuries that they have. We don't get the exposure. We don't get money. We're not in the same training facility. Like, it goes on and on and on. Here at DC United, we're training at Innova, where DC United train, or the Spirit train. We're playing at Audi, where they train. Like, it's top of the line.
You have the same resources as well. You feel like you're gonna have like physio and
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
cool.
not the whole gamut,
Yeah,
but
well,
they're like, give us some time to get everything together, because we're kind of later on. I don't really know the whole story, but they were just kind of later in the process than some of the other clubs. But like, our owner's there every single day. And like, I've never had that.
That's cool. What are you looking most forward to for the inaugural season?
Just play in the States. Just my family can come, my friends can come. Like, that's huge. Just, I've been playing abroad for so long. It just had drained me. It drained me not being able to have community.
I think that was something too when I was thinking about maybe the long-term benefits of having another league in the United States is I know a lot of players don't want to leave their families post-college.
Yeah.
You know, you've been away from your family and okay, I want to go play professionally. I don't have an opportunity here in the US right now, you know, because it was just the NWSL, and so you have to go play abroad.
Yeah.
You know. And so you're either going to like the Swiss league, you're going over to Portugal, wherever, and then you're just leaving your family again. And that's just, you're not offered a whole ton of like support there.
Yeah.
And so I think that that makes it a really cool thing too, is like you can play professionally in the United States and have another opportunity to like keep your career going. Cause I think that's important.
And I know so many people who went to preseason with the NWSL after they got drafted, didn't make it, went abroad one season, didn't like it, and then stopped playing.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, where now people are having other opportunities right outside of college, and I wish I had this when I was their age.
Yeah. I feel like it's an opportunity for developing players that otherwise, if they don't want to go to Europe, they don't want to have to deal with that. They're gonna get that here now.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple like loans already from NWSL clubs.
Mhm.
And I think that if they can continue that relationship, it would be even cooler.
Yeah, because it's mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like really excited about that. Also, playing with like Jorian is signed to our team, Jorian Bockham. We played together growing up with Region 4 at national team camps. Like, we were already friends, so I'm excited on that front. Like, there's a lot of familiar faces. I think it'll be good soccer. Like, I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, you guys are getting pretty stacked.
Well, the thing is, some guy wrote a Twitter post about how we're gonna be bad. He was like, I don't know what girls you have. Just wait. Come on.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
I was like,
Like,
I saw Baco get on your team, and I was just like, oh, they're for real then. They're for
yeah, we
real.
are. We are.
Well, and it's also like people haven't had a lot of opportunities to like see a lot of you guys play.
Yeah.
And so, unless you're following the A League or I don't know, watching the W League, which is pretty niche, but like they haven't really been able to see the quality of players just because the media hasn't really been out there for people to like highlight these players.
Yeah. And overseas, if you want to watch the crazy time zones, you really have to be locked in. You find the feeds. It's just hard. So I commend you for keeping up.
I don't know how people do that abroad with like the NWSL even, because it's just like, what time are you up to like watch these matches?
Yeah, and you got to be on the dark web getting all the links.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've oddly gotten good at that. So you started a blog. When did you start the blog? It's called Soccer She Wrote.
Yes, I started that blog when I went to FC Northland, so 2021. And I just got into freelance writing that summer. Or was it the summer before? I don't know. It was the Olympics, before the Olympics.
Okay.
And I was a history major in college. One of my past professors had me on this panel, and one of the other panelists was Jesse Washington, who's the writer for Anscape, formerly The Undefeated.
Mm.
And we started chatting after, and he was like, "You have a great story. Like, right, you should write something for us." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And essentially, I ended up pitching a piece on Crystal Dunn and her experience as a Black woman. And that kind of just exploded my little interest for writing. I wrote another piece on Brianna Scurry and her being Black and queer. And when Adie Franch was the next goalkeeper up, and like her role in Franch's life, and like just both of them as Black queer women goalkeepers. And then I kind of just got into writing my blog with this Black soccer digital platform called 2 Cents FC, and now it's rebranded into 41 Mag. And it's just kind of chronicled my time being abroad. And it's less about the soccer and more just about social commentary and like life. And I've enjoyed it. So I think going forward, it's gonna look a little different. But I'm hoping to give people kind of a look on like the USL and being a part of something that's brand new and creating a new team and culture and building something cool. So
Yeah, and I think you come into it with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like comparisons that can be made.
yeah,
But I've thought it was really cool. I mean, reading it because it's a perspective that I don't have and just things that I would never think of. And so I think it's a very important thing that you're doing. And I think it's really cool. Have you gotten a lot of good feedback about it?
I've gotten a lot of good feedback. Yeah. So it's been interesting because a lot of people think sports are this glamorous, sexy business. I'm like, oh, that's the men's side.
Yeah. Yeah, I read the article when you were out in Italy, on the border of Italy, and that was really eye-opening.
Yeah, my Italian Swiss team.
Yeah.
Didn't treat us right at all, didn't respect us, and then tried to cut every corner, and all the foreigners had to go because they didn't do any of the visa paperwork. And
That's
a
not
lot of people from there didn't get another team. Like that was it.
really.
Yeah. But a cool part of that story is some of the girls I connected with at TST. I played with a former teammate, played against a couple teammates, and one just got picked up to at least go to preseason with Brooklyn. I don't know if she's signed, but she hasn't played since Switzerland on a pro team, and she might get her chance with the USL Super League.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's exactly, I think, the point of it. So you played TST with Angel City.
Yeah, I did.
Which is a 7-a-side tournament, and you scored an incredible goal, though.
That was really cool. See, that was
a really good goal.
Like, I'm back in the States. I gotta, do something.
Yeah.
My mom was like, this is because I had already been in talks with DC, but I hadn't crossed the line yet. And my mom was like, I'm just feeling so good for you for like being in the States. Like, it was so cute. She was so proud of me.
That you think that helped your decision?
Well, I knew I was gonna go there, but we just had some we're going back and forth on some stuff. But it was funny because I was like, if this doesn't work out, I was telling them, now I got all this exposure. Like,
you're like, I'll be good.
You're like, you're gonna have to pay me more.
Exactly.
How does that work with salaries in the USL Super League? They have a minimum salary. How's that kind of work out? Have you had good experience with that part of it?
There's a similar to the NWSL. I think it's like 35. And they have tiered salaries because they have different types of player contracts. So the standard player contract has that minimum. Then there are player development contracts, which the point is to give girls who haven't played pro experience. So they are like on a lower tier. So I think theirs is like maybe 32 or something. Then they have academy contracts, which is interesting because girls who are not in high school and who aren't in college, who are in high school, are able to train and play in games as much as they want, but they're not paid, so that if they decide actually want to go to college, they still have their eligibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was thought through.
Yeah. So they have those different tiers, and then there's international players. But the league, from the club's perspective, they can spend less money on some of these players who are fresh out.
Hmm.
But for them, I think they feel like it's a little tougher because they're a little strapped for the players.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that goes up. I probably everything will just start increasing as the years go on.
Yeah, I've been impressed with like the caliber of a lot of the ownership groups. I mean, you guys, Angel Reese.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was like, damn, is she gonna come to some game? At
Oh,
least
she
one, right?
better.
She better.
Yeah. They already linked up when she played the Mystics,
Oh,
Jordan
really?
and did. But after the season's over, I think she'll pull up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing so well. I feel like they're probably gonna be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun to
Yeah.
watch. They're really
They
fun to
are.
watch. I became like a Sky fan because of Courtney Vandersloot.
Oh yeah. I see you even know her. Oh my gosh, is such a legend. She went to my high
I
school.
graduated with her.
What?
Yeah, yeah. She was voted. I mean, my high school experience is much different, and I don't want to like go see those photos of me in high school. But she was voted most athletic the year I was voted most artistic. So
Did you go to Kentwood?
yeah, I went to Kentwood.
I didn't know that. Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
God.
yeah. I went to Kentwood. I went to like Matson. I went to Crestwood
I
and
went to
whatnot.
That's why we
Kentwood.
have questions
Oh,
about
you went to
Covington
Matson?
in this.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. Yeah, yeah. I like grew up in. I lived in Foxwood
Yep.
out there.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, I know people who lived in Foxwood.
Yeah, yeah.
One second. I gotta
All
run.
right. Yeah,
Hold on
we
one
can talk about Covington, I guess, since Van's not really in the Covington
I
space.
know.
Do you visit there still?
Yeah, I have a few friends who still live in Covington.
Hmm.
And so one of my close friends, he has been in the soccer scene. He played like USL 2 overseas.
Okay.
When he's home, we'll meet up and train at Wilson.
That's so funny. Did you know any of the people that like have you met up with Courtney Vandersloot at all or anything?
No,
Okay.
no.
I was
He
like,
doesn't
it's
know me.
WNBA is like this crazy, crazy world.
Yeah. I I can make that connection now.
Yeah. I mean, you're not far from her now, too.
Yeah.
That's so
But
funny.
Kentwood never really did a good job of highlighting former people outside of Rodney Stuckey. Like he was just the main one who went to the NBA, made it, and that's all we really knew about. And I'm
They didn't
like,
tell you
okay,
about Courtney?
no, I'm like, show the women some love.
Are you
She
serious?
has these crazy records. She has like the all-time assists. What does she have?
Well,
Assist record? Something?
I
What is
think it's a single season of like assists record, and then she's the first ever male or female in NCAA history to get 2,000 points and 1,000
Yeah,
assists. That's a crazy stat.
yeah.
They didn't. That's so funny. I mean, I graduated with her, so everyone was always talking about her. I like had a huge crush on her in high school, but like, I mean, everyone knew she was like just so good,
Yeah.
and everyone in my class was like stoked for her, and still definitely like I would say a lot of people who were into sports follow her journey and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's been fun to see, especially since of how her team won the championship.
Yep.
Candace Parker and all that. It's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Thank you for listening to the Sounder at Heart Podcast Network, which now includes No Sarietes, Lobbing Scorchers, and the Cooler Guild. We've been independent since August of 2023, but need your support to make sure it continues. Although this podcast is free, it's only made possible by your continued support. Memberships start as low as $25 a year, which not only helps make podcasts like this one happen, but also gets you access to everything we produce. If you're able to support us at higher levels, starting at $75 a year, you gain access to a host of other perks, most notably entry into our members-only Discord, where the smartest, funniest, and most engaged commenters share their thoughts and ideas. To find out more, just visit sounderatheart.com and click the subscribe button in the top right corner. Thanks for listening.
We're going up to the women's sports bar after this to watch the US game.
Nice.
Yeah, we're heading up to Seattle to the Rough and Tumble pub.
Ooh.
Yeah. You see that they are part owners of the
Yeah, I
Ballard
saw
women's
that.
team.
That's really cool. And now it's gonna be
Yeah,
Oakland's
it'll be
rival.
interesting
I
next year.
know, Lily Town's rival.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, that has to be like the biggest rival, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's always been a big game for
Yeah.
the men's team. So I know we're in talks to do like some sort of derby
Yep.
event for it. But yeah, it'll be really cool. I mean, I'm happy to have another team in Washington. I mean, mainly just because the travel is insane to go to Oregon
Yeah.
all the time. But nothing compared to the Super League
my
travel and how
gosh.
that's gonna go.
Yeah, this first year, I feel bad for Spokane. But the following year, Oakland's joining, Tucson's joining. There's going to be more of a West Coast presence in the league.
Oakland has a good following.
Yeah, they do.
It was really cool to go play down there in playoffs
Yeah.
this year because the FC Olympia team, that was our first game down in
Yeah.
California. And we played at the men's stadium where the men
Yeah.
normally play. The championship team plays. And their training facility is the old Raiders training
Oh,
facility.
cool.
Yeah. They like had us practice there the day before and we were like, oh,
Yeah.
this is fancy. But they have a good following, so I think that'll be a really good ad for
Yeah.
the Super League. I know that a lot of people that listen to our podcast are parents or aren't players themselves and have kids that think about wanting to maybe go professional one day. Like, do you think that that's becoming more of a viable option and something that, what would you say, or what is like a piece of advice you give somebody?
Oof. I would say for parents, let your kids drive it. My parents are super hands off. And I loved the game. I went out by myself. I wanted to get better. It all came from me. And I think if you're a parent and you're constantly having to push the kid, and it's just not going to work out in the long end. Like, they have to love the game and want to be there. And then as a kid, like, just practice, be open-minded, like have a growth mindset. That's just like going in like a sponge and trying to soak up as much information as you can and not thinking like, oh, I know everything. Like, and for me, growing up, I like played my little kind of rec select team, and I didn't even make the jump to like premier soccer until going into 7th grade. And that was kind of
That's kind of late.
So you don't have to like fork out all this money since the kid's like 5 to like make it. Like, you do not have to do that.
Yeah.
And you also played
Yeah,
basketball for a long time. Do you think that was helpful?
Oh yeah, I played basketball. I ran track. Like, I did every single sport. I've talked about this in depth, but I think being in other sports for me was basketball. Like, there's other skills that you get that are transferable directly to soccer, and elevated my game so much. And even things like posting up. They teach you how to post up in basketball as a forward. I played 9, like right there. I just knew how to roll off defenders. I knew how to feel them and go one way. Shuffling, like getting low, they hammer that in basketball. It applies to defending in soccer. And then outside of that, just like mentally, like I felt like basketball, I was never like the best person. And kids are ruthless. And
Yeah.
like, I just had to have thicker skin. I felt like it was more demanding. Like, you shoot, you airball people on the side. Airball. Soccer, you don't have that. Like, someone blocks the shot, no one cares. Like, you get blocked from basketball, you're like,
Yeah.
so you just had to have another level of toughness. And then soccer wasn't as popular. So at recess, no one's playing soccer. I was hooping with the boys at recess. So all those things just help you wherever you go. So I would definitely say play other sports, and like, you just have to be a competitor to make it. So whatever you're doing, compete. You have to, like at Stanford, we had crazy success. We won an NCAA championship. Everybody there did not like losing. Everything we did, we were competing at. And our coach here, Fred, he has that same mentality. Day one, he was like, I don't like to lose. Said, my wife gets mad, we'll play the kids, we'll play some game, like whatever. And he's like, I'm not letting them win.
Yeah.
So I already feel like we're gonna have that mentality, and it's gonna take us so far. And Fred's like this French guy. He's funny. Because the only other French coach I had was Fareed. That
Oh,
Oh, God.
yeah,
No.
I know.
No. I do have to mention that Coop and I were the beginning of Ben Steedy out campaign.
It was like almost day one though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fareed, he didn't even know his soccer outside of all the other stuff. I felt like being at Lyon, like coaching these really like high performing teams, he would bring some more insight and like be a tactician, and he wasn't. So,
That's
It seems like he just used
oh my
ruthlessness.
gosh, well, it's crazy. My favorite coach was my Danish coach at FC Nordsjælland. I mean, she's Canadian, but Carmelina. So,
yeah, I
Moscato.
read that.
and I feel like to be a woman to get to that level, you have to have this crazy playing background. You have to have, she did every single license and coaching opportunity. She knew her stuff. Whereas you get these men who played academy and they aren't good enough to coach on the men's side, so they just go to the women's side and they just skate by because no one really looks at their resume hard enough. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? I've had so many coaches I'm like, you got to do a little better.
Yeah.
Or
Especially if you're going to bring somebody into like a program that's supposed to be, a high-end
Yeah.
program, and then you put somebody in charge of it that's just not
just
qualified.
straight up not qualified. And then that's why we got into all of those situations with the NWSL, because these coaches have come from like high school, and then they think, oh, the team's not doing well, let me just control the girls. And then that
Yeah.
starts all of the manipulation, the grooming, to
Ugh.
control everything. I'm like, that's not how you get the best out of your players.
Yeah, I was excited for Moscato down in the Liga
Yeah.
MX. And then she's now at Racing Louisville with
Yeah,
Bev.
because they're homies. But honestly, I was surprised because she's good enough to be a head coach in the WSL. So I was surprised that she at least didn't want to get a USL Super head coaching job.
Mm.
But I think she'll be at Louisville this season and then go someplace else and be a head coach somewhere. Either Super League, NWSL, the expansion teams. Like she is so good.
As long as they don't trap her in the U.S. soccer system
Ugh.
somehow.
Yeah.
It's Canadian, so I'm sure we'll avoid that, right?
I mean, they might be looking for a new head
Yeah,
coach.
Canada might need her.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, the Canada. When is this podcast coming out?
I don't know. Probably a couple days.
Okay, because that Canadian drama with the
Drama.
drone
Oh my god.
flying over, he's getting jail time now.
Well, they deferred it, but
Yeah.
That's yeah.
I know. I'm really tempted to text Murphy, because she's over there as an
Yeah.
alternate, and be like, "Did you see
Yeah.
the drone?"
But I'm like, you're gonna waste that on New Zealand?
That's exactly what we were saying. It was just like they've also never lost to New Zealand. Like, how desperate are you?
But I think that's another. I mean, they have a female head coach, but I think that she's never really been successful. And so the fact that she came into the Canadian women's program and got a little bit of success, and then they've kind of just let her slide ever since. And I think that it's just like, sometimes you got to do what you got to do because you don't know how to do any
Get
better.
a drone. Couple drones.
But
Yeah.
I was like, Allie Riley's not even gonna be playing. She's their star player. Like, if you're gonna do that, it needs to be against a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Well, and New Zealand's also had like coaching struggles in the last 6 months, and so with a whole issue going on down there, so I just don't. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it's like very disrespectful to the
Yeah. Oh,
players.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna suffer because of something that they had no
Yeah.
control over,
I-
and then they're gonna feel like their coach and their staff isn't
Yeah.
confident in them.
Yeah. But they got so
I hate
much
it.
with the Canadian Association. They're just probably just like another thing.
Yeah. I don't know how much you wanted to talk about the rain.
We talked about the current, like Alana going to KC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Rain are having to make moves because they're not doing
Mhm.
well. So transfer window's coming up. Alana Cook just got sent
Yeah.
to KC to play for Vlatko, who didn't even play her in the World Cup. I don't get this.
My feeling is I don't have any inside information. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking,
that must be kind of nice for you at some point.
oh, when
You know.
the Rain does poorly.
No, not that. No, to not have any inside information.
No, I love having inside information, but
You love when the rain suck.
well, I mean, they waived me. And
Yeah, no, that's fair.
and all I'm saying is if you had me, you wouldn't be in this dire situation. I'm just gonna put it out.
Their forward situation especially is not looking good.
Exactly.
I think I mentioned that on like the first or second episode after you scored that TST
I know.
goal, and I was like, somebody better pick her up.
Yeah, I was like, maybe
I don't know what
us.
the Rain are doing.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I think if they cut players, they got to know that the players aren't gung ho about them.
Yeah, I think that's just
Yeah, I think
nature of the
that
beast.
sounded to me like it was a mutual
I
agreement.
think it was definitely mutual. She hadn't been doing that well, and I think it was a mental thing. I don't think it was. Alana's a great player. I don't think it was her
Yeah.
ability. I think that there was mental stuff going on, team culture, and she needs a fresh environment. And Vlatko probably said, "Hey, I know what you can do, and I'm going to get you back to that. It might take some time, but I'm going to get you back to performing, to being the national team caliber." So it's probably a tough situation for her because I don't know if she's been on teams that haven't been performing. And when she has to be that leader, like they probably put a lot of pressure on her of like be a leader on the team. You got to step up, and then it didn't materialize, and then just started becoming like this sinking ship. So,
yeah, that can be kind of just I don't know. It felt to me that when she would come on, she would have like bright moments at times, because she's quick. That's something the Rain don't have on the back line. But it just, I think disinterested is the wrong word, but maybe just like disconnected. And so you could tell that it was like a mental thing. Because she has it in her. We've all seen it.
Yeah, I've been gassing her up. Even the last episode, I was just like, hope. I feel like I always held on hope, but it never.
Because it does seem like it's a mental block.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you just gotta
go somewhere new.
Go somewhere new, change it up, change your environment. Get a new outlook on your career.
And there's something, because center backs, it's like you always have to be solid, and you can't make a crazy bad mistake, and you'll play. If you start making these crazy bad mistakes, it's gonna bite you in the butt. And then the coach, it's only gonna go off of your history of being good for so long before they start taking you out. And then when you're taking you out, it's the whole mental where as a forward that happens more often. So we're used to it. Like I could have the game of my life, but if somebody else plays my position and they're heating up, I'm going to get taken out. Like there's always you getting taken out. I've had to deal with center backs. They haven't really had to deal with that. It's either I know I'm not going to play because I'm the third in the depth chart, or I'm going to play the whole time. And you gotta just, as a pro, you gotta be able to weather that and maintain your confidence and your belief in yourself. And that's hard to do.
Yeah. I don't envy anyone in that position right now. But also, like in the last game for the Rain, we saw players that we haven't seen all season. Like Julia Lester played in the back line, and we were like, where did she come from? Where has she been? What? She played great. And like, it's like, are we just like sitting on gems? But I feel like a lot of the NWSL is like that because you just have these players, third or like you're saying, fourth maybe in the depth chart, and they're just not getting playing time.
That's what happens. It's weird. It's so weird because there can be some really good players who never get opportunity, and then other people just happen to get opportunity and they run with it, and they're a mainstay.
Yeah. I was talking with Kat about that because, Kat Asman drafted the Thorns, and she was talking with us at one of the W League games that she came to watch, and she was saying like, yeah, I need to get playing time, but I don't have a record of having playing time, so I can't get playing time. And so it's like, it's almost impossible at some points.
It's really tough, but even someone like Boats, like Bethany Balser, they straight up were like, yeah, we were about to cut her, but we had all these injuries. And so she had to play. And then she made the most of her opportunity and was rookie of the year.
Yeah.
So
there's
stuff like that where sometimes it's just luck. Honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just I feel like super luck. I mean, she obviously had some skills, but that's just lucky.
Yeah.
Because they were also gonna cut her.
Yeah, and they'll straight up say that.
Yeah, you gotta have a thick skin. The Rain are not good this year. It is not fun. We chose the wrong season to start a podcast about the team.
We've had one win episode, which was not even a regular season. It was the last game.
Yeah.
And then we had recorded a couple practice episodes and we had a win in there, but it was like that one fluky one where they like got a red
Oh
card
yeah,
and they with
Louisville.
King.
Was that against Louisville? Oh no,
Uh,
that's the one they tied, huh? They didn't even win.
I think that was it against Angel City or San Diego? Was it San Diego? I don't remember because it was so long. It was
I think it was San Diego because McNabb
yeah,
got
yeah.
red carded
So
at the end of the
yeah, it was
game.
like
Oh yeah,
May 3rd. It was when that Zira got that like really weird red card for like putting her hand up on the face.
Okay.
She like flicked her hand
Oh yeah,
back.
she ran by and like did this.
Yeah. And then that was like the only win we had. And then we've just been sitting here being losers on our podcast.
Mhm.
But well.
We're hoping they make some moves. I mean, we need an all-out goal scorer.
Yeah.
Do you know one? Do you know one?
Yeah, do you know anybody?
Well, I mean, it's interesting because with the USL Super League, players are getting tied down, so there's like less talent to kind of pluck from out here.
Yeah.
They'll probably get someone who's international. The Rain loves going to the international market.
Yeah, we love getting 33-year-olds that are from other countries and who are past their prime.
Yeah, there's a rumored one right now, and I'm gonna be really mad if they sign her.
What's the rumor?
What's her name? She's the
It's the Swiss player that played for Barcelona, Anna
Maria.
Oh,
C.
She turns 34 in
Koskinen.
October, though.
oh,
Yeah, we might need somebody if Ryan Brown's out.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
That's a big loss.
it is.
I felt so bad for her.
Oof.
As we can move on to non-soccer things.
You wrote in your blog, you referenced Beyonce, and Van isn't as big of a Beyonce fan as I am. I wouldn't even know if she would call herself a Beyonce fan. I did go to the Renaissance tour.
I'm an appreciator.
Yeah, but I'm like another level. I'm pretty sure I campaigned for the Renaissance album for like 2 straight years of my life to people because not enough people in my circle listen to her. But do you have a favorite song off of Cowboy Carter?
Oh, that's tough. That's really tough. I kind of like Jolene because
Really?
I mean, I'm not even like a country fan like that. To
Okay.
get me on a country song is like you got to really be out there singing.
Okay.
And she was getting heat. Like there was a lot of stuff on the internet about Beyonce like not doing the song justice because she made it more of like you can't come for my man Jolene instead of like Dolly's version of like Jolene, please don't come for my man. So I like Beyonce being like, nah, like I'm a bad bitch. Like there's no way you can get my man. So kind of just like the background of that song and Dolly like co-signing it, I think was huge. And the whole point of Renaissance Cowboy Carter was like reclaiming musical genres that have Black people out.
Yeah.
So doing Jolene, I think really gave it like the cred that it deserved and like gave Black people the ability to be like, no, we're country, like we are consume, like we love country music, we can sing country music, don't say there's no space in here for us, you know. So I really love Beyonce and like what she's doing for the art, and I think her next one's gonna be a rock one, and then I think she's gonna pop out.
I know, I'm so ready.
Yeah, she's gonna do some like Prince-esque rock vibes.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
I think that would be more my vibe. Are you listening to anything else right now?
What am I listening to? Well, so DC out here is known for go-go. And
really,
I never knew what that was. And they're like, get in your little go-go. Pretty much it's like, you ever go to a bar and they're playing a track and then they'll have like a drummer on top of it?
Yeah.
And I think that's super cool. So go-go's kind of like that. There's like a lot of drums, a lot of drum beats on top of music.
So it's like pretty rhythm heavy.
Yeah.
Huh,
so
nice.
I'm like,
I did not know
vibe
this.
with it.
We're gonna have to listen to that on the drive up to Seattle today.
Yeah, check out some go-go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll go check that out.
Yeah.
You want to do the final question or?
Sure. So we were trying to figure out something to like pull together the name of the podcast, which the Cooler Guild, which we came up with because of Laura Harvey sitting in the cooler during the game. And now that we don't have the Clash of the Coolers, see you later, Casey Stoney. I'm sorry that happened to you. So if you're at a barbecue in the summer, you open the cooler to grab a drink. What are you picking?
Oh,
The magic cooler. Anything could be in there.
Yeah,
A
magic cooler.
anything. It has to be something summery, vacationy, with a little alcohol. I'm trying to vibe. It's the summer.
Yeah, I know. I get
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. What would that
Yeah.
be?
I like a good Mai Tai.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mai
yeah.
Tai. But like put a
Yeah.
little pineapple or something. Just make it a little.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all about the
Yeah.
garnish.
Yeah.
All right, so we're picking a Mai Tai out.
Thanks for being our first guest.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
If you ever want to come back too and chat about how your season's going and how you're liking the league too, you're welcome back.
Yeah. Bring me back.
Anytime. Do you have anything you want to plug? Like, is there anything you're doing right now? You've got your season coming up, which you guys are on the European
Yes.
schedule. So your first match of the season will be August 17th versus the Carolina Ascent FC in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Your first home match for DC Power FC will be Friday, September 13th at Audi Field in DC.
Yeah, and then
We
you
love
gotta plug
Audi.
our game against Spokane.
Forgot that. I was gonna put that one in there. I forgot. My bad.
You're-
I know I gotta go out to Spokane twice. I gotta go out there to watch you guys, and then I want to go watch Ben's
Yeah.
team,
yeah.
Lexington.
Get that gas ready.
I gotta find somebody with an airplane. Is there anything else you're doing that you want to plug? Any like organizations you're working with? Anything on the side that or are you kind of just like super focused on the season right now?
Yeah. Kind of focused right now. And then we gotta figure out which organizations here we want to focus on. So we'll see. But I definitely want to get out in the community out in DC. But yeah, I gotta kind of get my foot in this settle in a little bit.
It's been a pleasure. Always nice to see you. Our road trips this season were not as fun without you.
No, thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
It was
Thank
great meeting you, fellow Kentwood
I'm
alumni.
a fellow conqueror.
It's great to be alive. It's great to be alive.
Oh my gosh.
Had to throw you that one.
Yeah, our mascot was a conqueror, so we're conks.
We are home to
Everyone
conks.
It's great to be a conk.
It's great to be alive.
Yes.
Till next. Well, I guess we'll try again, right? I think we will.
Yeah. Thanks for accommodating us, and we wish you luck in your upcoming season. We will be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Officially our favorite USL Super League player, Mariah Lee.
Hey.
So I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Mariah. I know Coop and I really enjoyed speaking with her. It's really cool, the opportunities that she's been given with this Super League, and really excited to watch her this season.
Yeah, and doesn't hurt that she's, a local from Seattle area, at least.
Yeah.
That's always extra exciting and something to be proud of.
So if you need a team to root for, even though they are literally on the other side of the country, but has local ties, you can watch DC Power.
Definitely. We're hoping to do some more interviews. We did get an offer from a current Reign player to come on here, so we're hoping to follow up on that.
Very excited about that.
Yeah, I think that'll be a fun one if and when we get that one planned. So do you have anything else?
No. We'll come out with another episode. I know this one's late this week, but a lot of stuff going on. Coop and I did go up to the Rough and Tumble and watch the US game. So you'll hear us again in the feed after the Reign's next Summer Cup game.
Yep. Talk about the Olympics, talk about that, and also talk about the other news that's been surrounding a certain national team.
Drone Gate.
And also, I don't know, there's been a lot of stuff going on with Reign for what is supposed to be a break from the league, I would say. So
yeah,
we'll have some more going on. Thanks for listening.
See you guys soon.
We'll be in your ears. You won't see us. We'll be in your ears.
Don't be weird.
I have to. All right.
Bye.
Bye. I'm always like, I have to start rubbing her butt, so I got distracted.
I didn't know what you were talking. I can't see the dog, so I didn't know what you were talking.